Crimson Tide fans wait a long time to witness the Walk of Champions. After all, they've had 17 of those around here. 5 have been orchestrated by Nick Saban, with the hopes of another possibly on the horizon. And along the way, might be able to add another Heisman Trophy to the case as well. Tide goes for their 10th win of the season here at home today.
Welcome to Bryant Denny Stadium. Today, it's the Bulldogs against the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Let's go!
We're just getting warmed up. Finds Irv Smith. Touchdown, Alabama! We're just getting warmed up.
The Home Depot SEC on CBS. The best game from the best conference.
And Jason, many times that means the best team as well. The Home Depot SEC on CBS brings us to title town, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It is the top-ranked Tide, looking for their 10th win of the year against number 16, Mississippi State, in an SEC West battle here in Tuscaloosa. College football playoff rankings updated on Tuesday night. No change in the top. Alabama number 1, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Michigan. Georgia from the SEC in the 5 spot. LSU didn't fall that far despite being hammered by Alabama at home. Last week, they're still number 7. But in the Dr. Pepper SEC West standings, as you see, Alabama's already clinched. They know that they'll play the Georgia Bulldogs December 1st at Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the SEC crown. But first, today, it's the Bulldogs of Mississippi State, ranked number 16. Here comes the top-ranked Tide. Looking for their 24th straight win at home. That would tie the all-time school record. Welcome to Veterans Weekend and to Tuscaloosa, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Gary Danielson. Every week we say, partner, is there anybody that can hang with Alabama? We talked about their high-ranked offense, Tua Tagovailoa, a fleet of receivers, great stable of running backs. They're the number 1 scoring offense in the country.
Running out of stuff?
Yeah, but what about the other side of the ball? That's not bad either.
You bet. And Saturday night, I mean, I think Alabama showed that they got some guys on defense, led by really the player that's led them all year, right in the middle of that defense, Q Williams. He really destroyed the LSU offense all night. They could not block him, which means in this football game, I'm going to start right there. For Mississippi State to have a game, the guys nearest the ball, and Mississippi State has a good one. Elton Jenkins, their center, has to be able to control Williams, or they're not going to be able to move the ball. And Nick Fitzgerald, the way he runs it through the middle and the passing game goes, the 3 guys right there for Mississippi State have to block Quinnen Williams.
Quinnen Williams leads interior defensive lineman and tackles in the SEC. This guy's number 2.
Yeah, if he's not the best, Jeffrey Simmons might be. And he has destroyed. He's been a game wrecker for Mississippi State all year. So that means the guys closest to him. Ross Pierce-Baker, the center, one of the veteran offensive linemen we have in this league. And, of course, back to Tua. He might not go through the mountain, but he's pretty good at going over the mountain.
So we're talking about the guys inside. Now we're going down to the field. The 3rd member of our crew, Jamie Erdahl. Jamie?
Well, Brad, we've seen mild flashes of panic from Alabama fans, and rightfully so, over the past month as their quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, has been dealing with a knee injury, even last week breaking out on his own touchdown run and going to the medical tent afterwards to be tended to, but he continues to say that knee is fine. The problem is when he's in that medical tent and who takes the field for him, and for the 2nd straight week, it is not veteran quarterback Jalen Hurts. He was extremely limited during warm-ups before this game. It's an ankle injury that once again keeps him from being a backup quarterback. He will once again be the emergency 3rd quarterback, Brad. It'll be the redshirt freshman Mac Jones. This Mississippi State team has proved they do not go away against Alabama. It's a situation to watch.
It sure is, Jamie. Last year they wouldn't go away either in Starkville until a late touchdown. On a Jalen Hurts touchdown pass, won that one 31-24. This is the 103rd meeting between these two teams, going way back to 1896. The Tide has won 10 straight. I know it looks pretty, but it's a little chilly for this time of year in Tuscaloosa. Sunny, 49 degrees. It's about 14 degrees below normal for this time of year, but it's about to warm up in front of 102,000.
Do you think those big guys we talked about will love this weather, though?
No doubt. You and I were talking about if you're playing, it's great weather.
Yes.
If you're in the stands, it might be a little cool. Alabama won the toss. We see so many times teams defer to the second half. Alabama wants the ball and would love to take it right down the field and score. They've done that every week until last week against LSU. So that means Scott Goodman will tee it up. Josh Jacobs and Brian Robinson await on the other end. At the goal line, slipping a little bit is Josh Jacobs, but he brings it out. Trying to get to the edge, and did. And he's got a nice return. He got past the 25. Not quite sure we're going to mark him out of bounds as we take a look at our Chick-fil-A starting lineups. And it all starts with number 13. And he has had a remarkable year. First interception was last week against LSU. So there went perfection. Here's the group that joins him. Hale Henches in a 2 tight end set. You watch him block sometimes. He doesn't catch a lot of balls, but when he does, they're usually touchdowns.
That's right.
First down for Alabama from the 27-yard line. And Tagovailoa in trouble immediately, but he got out of it. Looked like they were going to get to him for a sack, but he picks up about 5 yards. Defensively for the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. We talked about the guys on the inside. Jeffrey Simmons, Gary talked about him, and Montez Sweat on the outsides, the number 2 sack man in the conference. This is a very, very good defense, a veteran defense. So Tua got 4, second down and 6. Damian Harris behind him in the tied backfield. And he'll get the carry, and he blasts his way to a first down and a bunch more. And with that carry, he just passed Johnny Musso on the all-time rushing list.
Nice
for
name
Alabama.
to pass. And you talk about when one of these backs get the ball, they seem to have a sense of urgency because they know there's 3 guys behind them that want the ball too.
That's right.
They run like it might be their last carry every time they get it.
So that moves him into the number 8 spot all-time in the Alabama rushing list and gets his team out to the 43-yard line. 3 wideouts to the top. And it's Harris again. And did the ball come out at the end? I think it might have. Officials haven't signaled yet. And apparently he was down.
And you talk about that winning streak for Alabama at home. It was that Ole Miss game when they had those early turnovers. And was the ball down? I don't know. This might be overturned. Did it come loose before his right knee came down?
Willie Gay's the guy that got in there and ripped it out.
Should be stopped. Another look at it. If Alabama should try to snap it fast. Oh my. I'm surprised they don't take another look at that. That's a big play for Alabama.
Tagovailoa throws out complete. Jerry Jeudy tripped himself up.
I thought it was questionable whether his knee was down on that play. To not freeze that, go for it. Joe Moorhead didn't take a timeout, and the replay officials kind of ignored it. Can't tell from that one. I thought the other one, though, you could tell the other look we had, I thought the ball was coming loose before his knee. Take a look at this one. Does the ball come loose?
I think it is. You're right.
Yes, I do. Very surprised we didn't get a full-time replay on that.
Josh Jacobs comes in now, and he's in the Wildcat. Straight ahead. First down, and then some. Big collision at about the 38. First down, Alabama.
That's what jumps out at me. When you watch the Alabama running backs, especially the next guy, especially number 8, by the way, when Jacobs gets the ball, it's like, I want to show you guys how good I am. And he has convinced me. And of course, when we talked to Bob Shoop, defensive coordinator for Mississippi State, he was the first guy he talked about, wasn't it?
Exactly. Harris back in there as Jacobs went out after the first down run. In the shadows just inside the 38-yard line. And it's Damian Harris And boy, right now the ground game is really churning it out.
I just get the feeling that Mississippi State spent all week going over the blitz, and who's got who, and how Tua likes to throw the slant here. And all of a sudden, wait a second, who are we preparing for here, Coach?
Well, Alabama's #1 in just about everything, and Mississippi State's way up there defensively in the national ranks. So something's going to give. So far, it's been Mississippi State's defense giving, but they also got a little bit of a gift, I think, on that Harris fumble. And here's Damian on the carry for the first down. Works it down to the 26.
It's almost as if, to me, this Alabama offense, with Mike Locksley, their offensive coordinator, maybe it's right from Nick, has said, you know what, these guys can stop the run. I want to see if you can block them. And it's just like they've challenged their offensive line.
Right.
So let's see if you can block them, because these guys are studs. They rush the passer well. Let's see if you can do it. See how good you are. Danielson's been saying you're really coming on. Let's see what you can do.
Now first down, a play action. Tagovailoa loads, fires to the end zone. Got Irv Smith. He's out at the 1-foot line. Looks similar to the touchdown just before halftime against LSU last week. Pickup of 25.
I think there was only about 2 or 3 yards where this ball could have been placed that was open. This was pretty good zone coverage on the play, and Tua, of course, put it in those 3 yards.
And now it's Damian Harris for the walk-in touchdown, Alabama. So there's another opening drive touchdown. Their 9th in 10 games this year.
Well, the big break of that drive was the non-call of the fumble, and Alabama made Mississippi pay. Run to the right. We've been talking about how often they run to the left for Alabama, and this time they go to the right behind Will.
So it didn't even take 5 minutes for Alabama to score. Bulovas in for the point after. Up and just inside the left upright. 73 yards in 9 plays. First it was Tua with the long ball to Irv Smith. That got him inside the 1. Damian Harris, who did a lot of the damage on the ground, says, I'll take the last 2 feet for my 7th touchdown of the year. And it's 7-0 Alabama. You watch your sports news and highlights straight without the noise. Stream CBS Sports HQ, the all-new 24/7 sports news network. Available on your phone, computer, and connected TV devices. CBS Sports HQ, sports for true fans.
Well, it was a 9-play drive, right, Ness, but this one play is the one that Mississippi State would like to have had one more look at it. Did the ball come loose before the knee came down?
It's already on his hip right there.
Yep.
And it's out, and the knee down after that. But they didn't review it. They went on to get another first down.
Well,
4 of them on that drive, and then he capped it from a yard out.
Well, they might have reviewed it, but they didn't stop the clock and look at maybe every possible angle, because I thought we had a clear look right there.
And fair catch taken by Dedrick Thomas, and that'll bring it out to the 25-yard line as we take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups for the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. It all starts with Nick Fitzgerald, the 5th-year senior out of Richmond Hill, Georgia. And look at the numbers this year, and his career numbers are just astonishing, what he's done, especially on the ground, but as well with his right arm. Elton Jenkins, Gary talked about him. He's up for the Remington Trophy as the best center in football. And on the other side, Pierce Baker for Alabama's on that list too.
Yes. Well, he's got a good game tape right here to show the NFL scouts, doesn't he?
They're big in block 92. He doesn't have to on this play, and it's going to be a yard, and that's it for Raekwon Davis, who makes a stop for Alabama. Raekwon, the big defensive end in the Alabama defense. That looks like this. And Quinnen Williams, who had a 10-tackle, 2.5 sack game. And as Gary said, he had a great game record against LSU. It was unbelievable to watch him last week. 2nd down and 9. Kylan Hill in the backfield with Fitzgerald. Nick's going to throw, and fires, completes just a little bit short of the first down, I think. See where they mark it. Got it to Cyrus Mitchell. his favorite target. 21st catch of the year.
Two good things on that play for Mississippi State Bulldog fans is decent throw and a catch. They've been plagued with drop balls and inaccurate throwing. They need some of that to keep this Alabama defense honest.
Only need about a foot for the first down on 3rd down. Alabama jumped, and now the offensive line stands back up, but no penalty marker either way.
They tried to do that NFL move where they point at him, but they did not get the call.
This should be Kylan Hill dropped for a loss. Isaiah Buggs, and that just ruined what was a 3rd and very short yardage for Mississippi State.
See, this is one of the things about going shotgun in these 3rd and inches. You would think Nick Fitzgerald from the quarterback sneak would pick up the first down.
But he's 6 yards behind the line.
Yes, and that gives the edge player. We saw it Florida a few weeks back against Georgia. I mean, you give them a real chance here. And again, possessions against Alabama, moving the sticks and making first downs is so important.
So instead of a first down, it's Tucker Day to punt. Wow. High booming kick. Waddle has to backpedal all the way inside the 20. Nice punt. But Alabama, with a touchdown lead, has it back. Their 2nd possession coming up. CBS Super Bowl season continues tomorrow. Doubleheader, Brady and the Patriots against Tennessee. 2nd game, Seattle and the Rams, Miami and Green Bay. Day kicks off with JB and the guys. NFL Today, as Nate, Boomer, and Phil and Coach will be along. NFL Today presented by Jeep, noon Eastern tomorrow. That's going to be a good lineup. Right here, we've got top-ranked Alabama already with a touchdown lead on their opening drive. As we do Project Smarter, presented by Home Depot. Gary?
Well, I'll tell you, it's not being too smart. When you're 6'6", it's hard to be wrong. I'll tell you that. Because Montez Sweat is another one of those front 4 for Mississippi State that has to be accounted for on every play.
Here's the throw out in the flats to Irv Smith again. It's Smith down the sideline. He's almost got wide receiver speed, and he showed it there. Errol Thompson knocked him out of bounds.
You know, and again, modern football, they line up their tight end wide receiver right, put him in motion, and run one of those little bootleg plays right at Sweat, by the way. And that's part of the game plan, is to run at number 9. Run those plays. He's so fast away from the play, you got to go at him.
And you saw friendly fire. Errol Thompson, one of their best defensive players, a middle linebacker, got rolled up on at the end of the play trying to make the tackle by his own teammate right there. And he's a guy out of Florence, Alabama, which is a couple hours north of here.
And I really think he's one of the key guys in this game, because they are going to double team inside. He has to clean up and make tackles.
Well, we're going to hope that he can come back in the game. At the 42-yard line, 2nd down. Not a lot of throwing yet, except to Irv Smith for Tua Tagovailoa. But he's got 3 wideouts there, Judy, Smith, and Ruggs this time. He tucks it himself.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I don't either.
The last thing I'd be doing. I got 4 running backs. I've got 3 wide receivers that are going to play in the NFL. I got a tight end that's as fast as almost any wide receiver, and I'm running my quarterback
with a big brace on his knee.
Yes, I was going to try to get there, but I didn't want to do another Home Depot smart thing, because that's not smart.
Let's see if they do projects a little smarter here. On 3rd and 5. They lead the country in 3rd down conversions, as you see at 56+. Here comes a blitz. Tagovailoa, a little dance, and then the throw to the sideline to Waddle. First down.
Watch Damian Harris pick up the blitz and allow Tua go from the right side to the left side, come back to the outside, and of course another perfect throw. I mean, I don't know what they don't have. What is our 4th game?
Yeah.
I'm running out of stuff to say, and we're going to do a 2 more times.
2 more times.
Right. And then we're going to hand off to Chris and Kirk. And
Yeah, they can do them again
Exactly.
or twice or whatever. Play fake, the throw out in the flat. Irv Smith, his 3rd catch so far. And the ball came out at the end, but he was already down.
So again, when you have a great player, sometimes you got to go right at him and make him make decisions. Watch what they do to number 9, Montez Sweat, on this play. Make him decide. Slow him down with a little play action. Goes the wrong way and then throw over the top. Perfect game plan.
Mike Loxley said they were going to do that against number 9.
They always know where he's going to be. He's always to the wide side of the field.
Josh Jacobs, first down. Inside the 33 as we check in with Jamie.
Well, it looked bad for Errol Thompson at first, getting rolled up on, but it looks like good news. He had his right ankle taped. He is on the sideline, helmet in hand, and he seems to be available again for Mississippi State.
That's good news for them on that inside linebacker position. He had 5 tackles and a sack in the game last year. And as Jamie said, he's got it chin strap on, ready to come back in, it appears. It's good.
And second leading tackler for him. You know, you put on the tape, you can't help but watch him.
Najee Harris and Josh Jacobs both in, and now Josh Jacobs is out in the flat. Tua wanted to go that way, I thought, and now throws instead incomplete, intended for Judy. That almost looked like they were thinking about a double pass. Josh Jacobs was so deep in the backfield.
Or they were showing that to Mississippi State, because he glanced out there and nothing was there, and then right away, that's one of the great talents of Tua, is he instantly can redirect and throw the ball. He's got such a quick release.
That's the only one he's misdirected, and that wasn't by far. He's 5 out of 6 for 67 yards. Najee Harris, who ran strong a week ago, and this is a pretty good one as well, down to the 25, a couple yards shy of the first down.
Yeah, you know, you only get so many turns here. The other guy's just as good as you are, and you run the ball and you come off the field.
And there is Errol Thompson back out there. 3rd down and 2. Jacobs now behind Tagovailoa.
Pick your poison. Are they going to run or throw? No one has any idea, I guarantee you.
Jacobs, first down. Needed 2 and he got 3. We talked about the stable of running backs this group has. Najee Harris is the leading rusher. Damian's had more carries. Josh comes in and can do it both as a receiver and a runner. And then Brian Robinson, when he gets in there, he doesn't slack off either.
And he'd be getting a lot of carries at a lot of other schools.
You're right about that. First down at the 22. Blitz coming off the corner. Tagovailoa pulls it out. Scrambles around. He's going to run again. And he's going to be at the first down marker. He's got it. Well, maybe just a little bit shy. And the official first ran out there. I thought he had it.
We had the pleasure of talking to Tua yesterday. And my biggest impression, he's awful cool on the field, but he's cooler off.
He is something. We talked to him about his 44-yard touchdown run last week, and he admitted to Gary what Gary said on the air last week. I was looking for a place to slide.
The whole time.
Nobody came in there. I had to score.
He was turning his head from side to side. I couldn't see anybody.
Josh Jacobs on the edge. Ooh, big collision. The end of the play with Mark McLaurin, the number 1 tackler at safety.
Love this guy. I really love this guy. And at the same play, one of the question marks was whether Deontay Brown would play in this game, and he did, and he led the play around the corner.
And Chick-fil-A pylon cam, you see a great look there. And now in a hurry up, it's Jacobs again to the 1.
And one of the things this Mississippi State defense has to get used to is they've been stopping everybody. They have to make sure that they don't lose confidence in this football game. You know, you have to keep playing down for down, knowing that this is just a different whole breed of cat you're playing against today.
They're the number 1 scoring defense in the conference, number 2 in the country. 7 opponents have scored less than 14 points against them. Alabama is a yard away from having 14 in the first 13 minutes. Jacobs, little juke. Touchdown, Alabama. In the end zone again here in the first quarter. Again, a 1-yarder.
Had to beat one guy, and he did it by himself. Boy, that was close too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He stuck the ball over at the last second to get the touchdown.
Bulovas in for the point after. Up and good. 2:48 remaining in the first quarter. And already Alabama's got as many points as several other opponents have mustered in an entire game against this Mississippi State defense. 83 yards in 13 plays. Josh Jacobs, 9th rushing touchdown of the year. 14-0 tie. Tonight at 11 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, top bull riders from around the world return to the dirt for another round of PBR World Finals. And tomorrow at 4, you can see who'll raise the golden buckle. The gold buckle as the 2018 champion. Right now, Mississippi State is thinking that they've been bull riding against the running backs. Here's another look at the touchdown.
I think he did extended, pierced the plane, and remember that line goes all the way up. You don't have to get it on the ground. Just pierces it just
right
enough
there.
It reaches it out. Yep, good call.
So 2 1-yard touchdowns, actually 2 1-foot touchdowns. One by Harris, one by Jacobs. 14-0, Alabama. And Mississippi State will start again at the 25. I'm pretty sure they were hoping they weren't going to be 2 touchdowns behind by the time they got the football for the second time today.
Well, one tough break. The fumble could have been big in this game. Remember Ole Miss, when they knocked off Alabama, was turnovers early in the game. All right, that's over. But the other one was in their own hands. 3rd and very short. They go shotgun. I mean, that just cries for a quarterback sneak with your 245-pound quarterback right there.
That's what we were talking about going into the break. They don't give up much to anybody, and they've given up the #1 team in the country 2 touchdowns in the opening 13 minutes. Play fake. Fitzgerald in trouble. He's going to go down. Johnny Dwight, not even a starter, picks up the sack.
Well, Nick Fitzgerald got this ball close to the line of scrimmage, but against this team, if you don't have it, you got to throw it. You cannot ask your offensive linemen to hold more than a second and a half. That was a designed quick pass. You have to know, get rid of it. Now, he got back to the line of scrimmage, no big deal, but long term, that hurts.
2nd down and 11.
And it puts blood in the water for this defensive line, too, for
no doubt
Alabama.
about it. Here they come again. Fitzgerald in trouble again. Going down again. And it's Q. Quinn Williams.
Yeah, this was a poor snap, and you got to wonder inside if the threat of Quinnen Williams on the nose tackle. Watch, Quinnen's on him. He's got to block him. Watch the snap. You start worrying about the best defensive lineman in the country, and you don't take care of the snap, your first job.
That's his 5th sack of the year, and it drops Mississippi State way back at the 19-yard line.
And it's not going to take Brad long to answer this question. What does Quinnen like to do in a game?
Dominate.
You got it. That's what he told us 10 times.
4-man rush. Fitzgerald down the middle, completes it, but it's going to be short of the first down. Stephen Guidry, and they're going to have to punt again. 2 straight 3-and-outs.
And if you have that repetition that Quinnen has, watch what Mississippi State does. They double team him. They put 2 guys on him. That means someone else is going to make a play sooner or later. That puts a lot of stress on the line. When you put 2 players on an inside defensive tackle, that means your 2 tackles to the outside are on an island.
Tucker Day to punt again. Jalen Waddle waits back around the Alabama 30. Again, he hit it a mile in the air. Waddle's got a call for the fair catch, and it bounces and takes 1 hop, and Surtan's back there with him.
Yeah, heads up play by Surtan, though. He didn't know if that ball hit Waddle. 2 freshmen back there making smart plays.
Veterans Weekend. Joe Willie's in the house. Alabama leads by 2 scores. Tomorrow on CBS, some friends come into our life the exact moment we need them most. Watch an all-new God Friended Me tomorrow after 60 Minutes, only CBS. Our friend Jamie Erdahl on the field. Jamie?
Well, it sounds like Nick Saban got an earful about the way teams or his players celebrate, in specific to Tagovailoa last week, going up for the belly bump with some teammates, comes down on that right knee. Man, it looked like it hurt. Evaluated, came back in. So today, he took it down a notch. Calm little handshake, one or two, but it was Devonta Smith. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for getting us down the field. So let's say he took it down a notch, and rightfully so.
That is, and Tua told us yesterday, no more of that stuff.
Yep, shake hands.
Shake hands.
Save the knee.
Claps his hands here and gives it off to Damian Harris, who dives out for 5, maybe 6.
Well, I think this Mississippi State defense night now, it's a critical series, right? 14 points has been given up. We talk about the confidence from that defense. They need a stop here to stay in this football game, number one, but for their own psyche. I mean, They come into this game thinking, believe it, all week they've been saying we can play defense like Alabama. And they come out here and get shocked. They need a stop badly.
Came in allowing only 9 touchdowns, and 2 of them already here in the first quarter. And an offside. So Alabama will take the penalty to keep it at 1st down and 5, save themselves a down. The gain was about the same for Damian Harris on the carry. So 1st and 5 at the 31. Final play of the quarter. Tagovailoa scrambles around, no place to hide, and he's going to get sacked, and that doesn't happen very often. That's only the 7th sack given up by Alabama this year.
Yeah, and listen, if Tua takes a sack, you know no one's open, because anything close, he lets it go.
No doubt about that. The first quarter belongs to the Crimson Tide. #1 team in the country with a couple of touchdowns. They're up 14-0. Tomorrow, big tech companies are making billions off your personal data, but are they protecting it? Plus, these twins made a secret pact as children that's led them to become NFL teammates. Amazing Griffin brothers tomorrow on 60 Minutes. We start the second quarter. Alabama with a 2-touchdown lead. And the ball at their own 25-yard line. Tua Tagovailoa, throwback screen. Wide receiver screen, Jerry Jeudy. Jeudy avoids some tacklers and looks like he's got a 1st down. We welcome you back to the booth. Brad and Gary. Jamie's down on the field. So you got one of the best defenses in the country. You look up there to start the second quarter. It's 14.
You know, I'm thinking like Alabama's got this. Well, Tua's left-handed, so
Yeah.
they got this. But now they've been just doing this, you know.
Giving them the business.
So when you got this and you do this, that's a good offense.
That's a gut punch for sure.
Exactly.
1st down. Play fake. Quick throw. Just a little bit in front of Ruggs.
Yeah.
He was looking for a flag.
That was really good coverage, though, by Dantzler, #3 on that play. And had to be perfect. Tua usually is close to perfect. That could have been caught, but that's pretty good coverage.
Dantzler, sophomore out of Hammond, Louisiana. Has come a long way. Terrell Buckley, former star at Florida State's their secondary coach, and he really likes that kid. 2nd down and 10. Tua scanning the field here. If you check his eyes.
Boy, it's a run call every time. The Mississippi State 2 deep safeties, zone look all the time.
There's the throw out in the flat to Jeudy. Look at that speed. He can accelerate so quickly. It looked like those 2 guys had an angle to make a tackle, and he just put it in 7th gear.
So on these RPOs, okay, the last thing you do is look for the blitzing safety on the play. So you got the 2 deep safety look, and you go, okay, I'm going to hand the ball up. Here comes a safety. I can throw it. That's the modern day football that, has really changed this game. We were talking to Nick Saban about it. He said, I changed a few years back, and we picked out the play, didn't we?
You said it was
against Auburn, the kick 6 game, the last touchdown. And all of a sudden that RPO, Nick said, you know what? If they're not going to call that, I'm going to start running it.
Exactly. He changes with the times and just keeps winning titles. And here's Josh Jacobs for another 1st down. That's what's so different about this Alabama team than some of the pound the ground teams of the past. Of course, they got a guy that's thrown it out there that's pretty good.
And remember the first adjustment, he went out and hired Lane Kiffin. That was the transition, brought the RPO offense. Lane leaves and he goes out. Mike Loxley takes over, and now, as you said, gets a gunner.
Judy was looking for a flag for a holding, didn't get it. So it brings up second down at 10. Jonathan Abram was back there covering. Jerry Judy's the leading receiver coming in. He had caught 39 passes. We saw him catch one just a moment ago.
Yeah, and listen, Judy had a point there. Jonathan Abram, the senior safety for Mississippi State, grabbed and just slowed him down enough not to get called and making an incomplete pass.
Judy's third in the country in yards per catch. Jacobs tripped up. Nice tackle.
Yeah.
And it was Cameron Dantzler, the guy we just talked about, the corner. High snap. And Jacobs looked like he could make that move, but a nice one to undercut him. And short game will bring up third and long. Which you don't find Alabama in a lot.
No, and this is a blitz look usually for Mississippi State. That's the game plan for Bob Shoot. They like to bring one extra player. They line up three. You never know which extra guy is coming.
Darrell Shavers joins the wideout group. He's to the top of the screen, but the give is inside to Jacobs.
Look at that speed off the edge by Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Number 9 looked like he was shot out of a cannon there.
Yes. Remember, we showed you his measurables, 6'6", top of the screen right here. Watch him come around, looks at the quarterback and says, nope, somebody else has got the ball. That's why those NFL scouts are drooling at that guy.
Came in, he's on the Nagurski, the Ted Hendricks, and the Bednarik Award watch list. Ted Hendricks Awards for best defensive end, the other one's for best defensive player, and he showed some of that here, and it forces the first Alabama punt.
Well, that was a great timeout by Mississippi State.
Timeout, Mississippi State. First time out of the half.
They were confused. They didn't know if they had 12 or 11 players out there. They could not make a mistake right there.
They just want to get it back on the punt, which they will when we come back.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, show me college football scores.
Our football score is 14-0 Alabama, but they are set to punt for the first time today.
Yeah.
Mike Bernier will kick it away.
And Mississippi State did have 12 players out there, so it was a good timeout. And they're staying in their defensive unit out here. They want the ball back so bad, they do not want to give any signal to Alabama to even think about faking.
They would have to pick up 7 yards to get a first down, and that'd be all the way down to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and what is it, 31 to 6 plays here? Only 6 plays.
Yep, 2 3 and outs. Here is the punt. They let it go. Alabama's great at this. They wait on the 1-foot line. Surtain, perfect. Everything seems to work. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studios for a Zaxby's update. Zuck.
All right, Ness, first game of our doubleheader. Texas A&M fell behind a couple times against Ole Miss, but Travion Williams there to ice it. His 4th career 200-yard game. He had 228 on the Rebels. Aggies clinching bowl eligibility in Jimbo Fisher's first year. Brad and Gary?
Good win for the Aggies. Well, the good news is Mississippi State's offense has got it back. The bad news is Nick Fitzgerald is in his own end zone to take the snap. And this isn't a good spot either, because there's 6 more yards they're going to have to make up against that Alabama defense. Well, they got some breathing room. Harris Williams, good run.
Yeah, Harris Williams is their tough runner inside. Little different look for him this year. Last year he carried the ball 236 times. Coming into this game, he has 46 carries. That's because he shares it with Kylan Hill.
Yep. Had over 1,100 yards on the ground last year.
And as Brad told you, more carries from the quarterback too, Fitzgerald.
So second down and 3. Williams again trying to get to the edge. The stiff arm, the spin move, he got there. First down. So that's their first down of the game so far. Their leading rushers coming in. As Gary said, 155 carries for Fitzgerald, 839 on the year, and then 81 and 46 between Hill and Williams.
You know, because of the amount of, when they're most effective, Nick Fitzgerald's carrying the ball inside on the power. I really think he has to run the ball more than 100 yards, which no quarterback has ever done against Nick Saban here at Alabama.
He pulls it out here and throws it complete to his tight end. And Justin Johnson with a good game.
The threat of him running allows him to those little dump-offs to the outside. To keep that Alabama defense guessing, they have to be convinced that Nick Fitzgerald will run the ball inside, and that'll allow him to dump it off on those little RPOs.
Justin Johnson, a Birmingham native. That's his 11th catch of the season. His first today that got him 7 yards, 2nd down and 3. Fitzgerald pulls it out, fires, try to get a slant back to Johnson, who's looking for a flag and doesn't get one. And it's 3rd down and 3.
Again, remember, Nick Fitzgerald is deciding during the play whether he wants to attempt the pass or run the ball. And on this one, I thought for a second there that there might be 2 different guys that could intercept that ball.
I think Dylan Moses just got a finger on that and changed the trajectory of that ball.
Or Deontay Thompson might have had a chance on getting it.
Right. 3rd down and 3. He moves Williams to the other side and then dropped the snap. And so much for that drive.
Yeah, he was not expecting the snap. The snap was earlier than he called for. He's trying to move the running back. I think the center sees the motion back there and believes it's the quarterback moving his foot and snaps it too early. See, he just sees legs moving. Fitzgerald has no idea the ball's coming.
So they got 1 first down out of that. Got out of their own goal line, basically, before I have to kick again. Day's 3rd punt will back up Waddle. Will take the fair catch around the 37 or 38.
I get the feeling Waddle's dying to run one.
I think he is.
He's like, no, I got to do this again.
Alabama in control early. A Josh Jacobs touchdown. Damian Harris touchdown. 14-0. Let's test your knowledge with today's Aflac trivia question, which is, who was the last Mississippi State head coach to defeat Alabama in his first season? Joe Moorhead trying to do that today. Who's the last guy that did do it? Alabama 14-0. Have the ball back at the 38-yard line.
And just have the feeling, don't you, that Tua is going, Coach, I'm ready to let one go here. I want to kind of throw a deep ball.
Oh, I think he might have wanted to, and now he will. Going long, jump ball out there, incomplete.
Yeah, they wanted to go deep, no doubt about it.
Flag down, Waddle the intended receiver. And Chris Rayford's going to be called for pass interference.
Waddle's coming back. I haven't been able to run a punt back, but they let me go deep on one, so all's even. You could feel it, but inside, pressure from
pass interference, defense number 24. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Yeah, and give Jeffrey Simmons on the pass rush credit for at least allowing the opportunity for that not to be a touchdown, because Rayford had to hold on. He didn't know where the ball was. But if Simmons didn't pressure Tua out of the pocket, that would have been a touchdown.
So as it is, a first down by penalty moves it back into Bulldog territory.
That's Tua's personality, be able to get what he wants all the time. I'll tell you that. we saw that Friday. Nice hit.
Najee Harris dropped for no gain by Errol Thompson. Jamie.
Well, you're seeing Lester Cotton in at that left guard position. That's because Deontay Brown re-aggravated a lower leg injury. We saw him in a walking boot at practice on Thursday. He was in the tent the entirety of that last defensive series. He's out now, but questionable to return.
He's a A slim down version of what he was when he first got here.
But he was a difference maker when they inserted him into the lineup. That made this offensive line complete.
Here's a corner blitz. They throw it over the top. Judy. Oh, wow.
He's crazy.
Come on.
He's crazy. We saw it last week against LSU. Remember all those moves?
Look at this.
This isn't even right. You can't do this. That's Walter Payton stuff right there. Remember that?
Oh, man.
Holy cow.
And it wasn't even a first down. 3rd and 1. And Harris close. I don't know if he got it. I think he's short. And Jeffrey Simmons is saying his knee was down. Mr. Official, there's a flag down as well.
Offside, defense number 43.
That gives him the first down.
Neutral zone. The 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
Fletcher Adams jumped in offside.
Yeah, I think he lined up inside on that one. And
boy, you don't want to give Alabama any freebies.
yes, exactly. The center snap to Fitzgerald when he wasn't ready, lining up in the neutral zone to get a thing. Adams gets taken out, and they bring back in Montez Sweat, who's been given a little bit below because, you know, this Alabama offense is rolling because Mississippi State can't control the ball at all.
First down at the 34. Najee Harris bounces it outside, almost tripped up. And then finally Peters pushes him out of bounds, but a good run.
You know, Hale Hinch has number 84. Brad highlighted him in the lineups. You watch number 84 get the blocks. He cleans it, just crushes the end man on the line of scrimmage to allow Harris to get out there, and then he breaks one of those tackles.
Najee had 83 yards on 6 carries last week against LSU. He picks up about 8 there. 2nd down and 2. Damian Harris back in behind Tua Tagovailoa. And the ball is out. Mississippi State's got it. Bad exchange between Tua and Damian Harris. And the Bulldogs come up with a turnover.
And they needed it. Now let's see if this Bulldog offense can take advantage of it and make it a game. The Bulldog defense 2 stops in a row against Alabama. Now the offense has to do something.
Tuesday on CBS, one agent will face his greatest test. Don't miss an exciting new FBI Tuesday after NCIS, only CBS.
Joe Moorhead said he was going to stop protecting his quarterback and just call the game and let it happen the way it is. You cannot protect your quarterback and beat this Alabama defense.
About 3 weeks ago, he said the offense is mine to fix, and I'm going to fix it. And they've been playing a lot better, especially Nick Fitzgerald, the last 2 or 3 weeks, but they've got to get something going here before halftime. Fitzgerald, quarterback draw, looking for a block, only got about a yard.
Guess who?
And guess who?
Yes, guess who? It's not hard to guess. It's incredible how he can get around blocks at his size. He slips them. Listen, he's going against a veteran offensive line here. And inside, he hits and just throws the man away. That's a big guy. A junior, Darrell Williams, number 73, trying to block Q and having no luck.
2nd down and 9. Hill, flea flicker back to Fitzgerald. Look out from behind, and down he goes. Christian Miller and LeBron Ray combine on the sack.
You know, he had a guy deep to throw to, but he did not have the time. You do the flea flicker, you expect maybe you get it. Down the middle of the field, he had a throw, but it had to be almost a guess throw right down the middle, right there. He had it, but you got to let it go. Just let it go and trust it. It looked like Nick looked to his left instead of down the middle.
It was Dedrick Thomas who had a step back there in the Alabama secondary. Instead, it's a loss of 9, and it's 3rd down and 18.
Great call on 2nd down, and Moorhead gets nothing out of it.
And now the defense fired up as there's a flag and a false start, and it's 3rd and
Prior
a
to the
mile.
expiration of the play clock, timeout, Mississippi State.
No, they got the timeout
Second
before the
timeout of the
flag.
half.
So a break with 6:06 remaining in the quarter, and they'll try to come up with what they have for third down and a whole bunch when we come back.
Adam Zucker, New York, coming up on the Geico Halftime Report. Houston, BJ, and I get you caught up on today's action, including Florida coming back from down 31-14. Felipe Franks giving them the lead. Once the Gators fans stop criticizing him, shush, they get the win, 35-31 as we go back to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, good for Felipe. Nice comeback by Florida. Aflac trivia question. We asked you this one a little bit earlier. Last Mississippi State head coach to defeat Alabama in his first season, Darrell Royal, back in '54. Coach Royal went on to Washington and then to Texas. He was replaced by Jim Owens, who was an assistant coach for Bear Bryant at Texas A&M and Kentucky. Owens retired. He was succeeded by Don James, who coached Nick Saban at Kent State.
Squeeze it in.
Kevin Bacon's in here someplace. I don't know. They're down at 18.
Oh, no.
And it just keeps getting worse. Coming out of a timeout.
Part of the snap.
False start.
Offense number 61.
Just think about this.
Penalty.
For Mississippi State to come into this football game, they came in here with 19 seniors, 11 of them fifth-year seniors, 28 juniors, 8 of 19 seniors are starters, a veteran team making silly mistakes.
15 of the guys that started last year against Alabama in a one-touchdown loss are out on the field today.
And they just seem to be out of sorts. Just think back to that early fumble, though. You know, how much different would it look?
Fire down the middle, in and out of the hands of Farrad Green. Wouldn't have been a first down, but pretty good throw.
Yes, it was. And again, the problems with drop balls. Let's see how close this was. Was it tipped on target?
Oh,
yes,
perfect.
You got to catch that right through it. I mean, as hard as it is to block that front, beat that coverage, make a perfect throw, and then you drop. I was reading something at the beginning of the year. They were really concerned with yards after catch. Now it's catch per throw is what they're concerned with.
Day kicks to Waddle, who again has to take a fair catch around the 43-yard line with 5:54 remaining in the half. Playoff standings we talked about updated on Tuesday. They really didn't update much. Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Notre Dame 3, Michigan 4, and you see the rest. What do you got, Gary?
Well, it's all going to come down to chalk and who can hold up to chalk. I mean, you got 4 teams here. Now, remember, 2 of them play, so they all can't make it, maybe. So let's call Alabama in scenario 1 winning against Georgia. I think those teams will control their destiny. A win out by the other 3, they'll be in. Committee doesn't have to do anything.
What if Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC title game?
Oh, no. We're going to have to talk about that.
Go ahead.
If Alabama runs the table and everybody else does, Clemson and Notre Dame, now what do you do? It's going to be Clemson 1, I think, Notre Dame 2, Georgia 3, and we're going to have another one of those arguments. And I've got 3 more weeks to decide what I'm going to say.
That's great, because that's like a tease to next week.
Well, yeah, but also I don't want everybody mad at me for an extra month.
Exactly, you know? Especially back in Michigan, the old days. Tagovailoa down the middle, chipped, incomplete, intended for Ruggs.
And a wide open throw, and that time, one of the few times you'll see an inaccurate throw from Tua.
Well, last week against LSU, he was only 60%, so he proved he was human. And this one, you're right, he usually hits this in stride. It's behind Ruggs.
Yeah, he really anticipated that throw. You never know. I mean, you have no idea. Did Ruggs take an extra step on the route? But the timing was not there, and that's he's been hitting those like taking candy from a baby.
Here comes a blitz on 3rd and 10. He spins and goes down. Nice blitz. Good job by the defense. Willie Gay and Montez Sweat are there.
Well, you can see that against high-level pass rush, 3rd down's not easy for any college defense. I mean, this offensive line has been having a great second half of the year, but against these studs and Montez Sweat, he came inside and just creased them, and there's nothing that Tua could do to get out of that pass rush. Impressive athletes for this Bulldog defense.
No doubt about it. He's got over 20 sacks in the last 2 years. Forces a punt.
But, you know, Ness, as we watch it, it drops the punt.
Go ahead, Rick Thomas.
Jeez.
Alabama's got it.
You work so hard to get ball back, and you give it back to Alabama. Fair catch. Plenty of room.
Right through his hands.
Yep. The Alabama defender gets out of the way and allows him for the catch, and another huge mistake, and this one could be deadly for the Bulldogs. Alabama's too good to give them extra chances.
So Alabama's got it with a golden opportunity here. First lost fumble of the season. They were best in the country. The only one that had a goose egg in that category, and that just went by the boards. Alabama at the 27. Hand off Jacobs, and Jacobs ripped down by Simmons, the nose man.
I'll tell you, Simmons and Sweat are as advertised.
Yeah, they're
right. I tell you what, big guy inside, just making plays. Try to block him. Two guys try to block him, and Leatherwood couldn't handle him at all.
No.
Too quick, way too quick.
We talked about Quentin Williams of Alabama as far as an interior defensive lineman, led the SEC in tackles. Simmons was number 2, and you can see why. Play fake. Tagovailoa. First down to Irv Smith. Looked like they were going to get to him again, and he just hung in there and rips one to number 82.
Yeah, see, before the snap, here's the thing. When Tua knows where the ball's going before the snap, he's got a matchup with his tight end who, as Ness told you, he's like a wide receiver once he gets in the open field. He's matched up against McLaren, number 41, was a safety. Tua's going, all right, I got the guy, and I know where I'm going with the ball. 200
yards plus now in offense for Alabama. Tagovailoa flares it out to Jacobs on the run. Jacobs, touchdown, Alabama. $14 yards, touchdown pass, number 28 for Tua.
Thing of beauty. You run it off the stretch play. You look downfield. It's not there. Watch, stretch, stretch, pull it. Now, where do you go? Uh-oh. Nobody's covering the back. That's my check down. I do as coach tells me, and I get a touchdown pass out of it.
First touchdown reception of the year for Josh Jacobs. Bulovas in for the point after.
Boy, tell you.
24th scoring drive this season where Alabama didn't have a third down play during the drive. They didn't need one. 27 yards in 3 plays after the drop punts. Josh Jacobs touchdown, 21-0 tie. 21-0 Alabama as they take advantage of the drop punt and only needed 3 plays to get in the end zone again. And they'll bring it out to the 25. Monday on CBS, Magnum takes on 3 gangsters in a Hawaiian standoff. New Magnum PI Monday at 9, 8 Central, only CBS. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl, and our CBS crew here in Tuscaloosa.
How deflating must that be for Mississippi State? Remember, they got the sack on Tua. Their defense is alive. It's a 14-0 game. They're going to get the ball back, and they give it right back to Alabama.
Speaking of Hawaii 5-0, Tua now 28 touchdowns and 1 interception. We asked him if they missed home. He said, yeah, I still got a lot of family there. Of course, his parents and his brother and sister are here. His little brother is a quarterback at Alabaster High School in Alabama and is a commit to the Tide for the future. Although we saw him on the field at LSU last week, and you asked him, what'd your parents think, or what'd you think of your little brother being out there with Ed Orgeron?
And he said, I don't know. I didn't ask him. Right? He was like,
he goes, that's my brother. I don't know.
All right, he's good. He can do what he wants. Yeah.
3:16 remaining in the first half. $21-0 Alabama with 3:16 to go. Nick Fitzgerald and the Bulldog offense, 2nd down and 6. Kylan Hill with him in the backfield. He's going to pitch it to him. And Hill broke one tackle and made something out of another. And then he's still running with it down the sideline. I don't know how he came out of that pile, but a big run for Kylan Hill.
Well, he's been struggling and missing time with his hamstring injury. Looks pretty good right now. Anthony Jennings, I thought, had him bottled up and done. And I think the rest of the Alabama defense thought he was bottled up and done, but he wasn't.
38 yards later, finally run out of bounds and just kind of ran out of real estate. Surtain was the closest guy to him.
I mean, it looked like tackle for a loss, and all of a sudden he's running down the sideline.
All the way to the 33-yard line. So some life for the Bulldog offense. Let's see if they can keep it rolling and get points here in the final 2.5 of the half. Fitzgerald, he's going to go down for a loss. Anthony Jennings didn't miss that tackle.
You know, watching Alabama practice, they actually had 2 running backs at quarterback for the scout team running the attack. We talked about that no quarterback. I mean, think about it. Tebow, Cam Newton. I mean, there have been some names that have played against Nick Marshall. Never gained. Johnny Manziel never gained 100 yards rushing against a Nick Saban Alabama defense. They were geared up to start number 7.
And they
running the ball, and they have.
Second down at 12. Fitzgerald wants to throw. Does. Down the middle and got it complete. Harris Williams, and it's a first down inside the 15.
Time to throw the ball. Look at the protection. When you have time to throw the ball, you have a chance to beat somebody. And that was a good throw. Got open. Dylan Moses did not get the grip. Let his man get inside the middle of the field, and that broke down the defense.
They got it in the red zone for the first time today at the 12.
This drive is so huge.
Fitzgerald dropped at the line of scrimmage. It was Isaiah Buggs who forced it inside.
Just think about this. They're taking time off the clock. They're getting out of the half. They get the ball to start the second half.
They've only got one timeout left. Remember, they had to use a couple. One time with 12 guys on the field. So they got to hurry. As you saw Coach Moorhead do, let's go, guys. And they are wasting time right now. Fitzgerald out in the flat has got a man, and this should be a touchdown. Did he get there? Flag down.
Boy, I thought he scored. You know, Love extended the ball over the line.
I'm still waiting for, I guess they put it at the 1.
During the run, blocking the back. Offense number 2.
Doesn't matter.
10-yard penalty from spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
Kendrick Thomas, who dropped the punt earlier, now he's got a...
And then he tries to put his hands up because he knew he was going to get caught, as if he didn't do it. Let's take a look and see how egregious it is. Number 2 at the top, middle of the screen right there. We got you.
Oh, no
man,
way.
He did not even touch him.
And that's a touchdown, too.
It is. Holy cow.
Oh, man. He's right.
He's absolutely right. The second big call that has gone against the Bulldogs. Man.
I don't even know what to say on that one.
No.
Second down and 9, I guess I'll say. Fitzgerald. Tipped. Almost intercepted by Thompson in the end zone.
That wasn't even as close as the first bad call they got.
Wow. Third down.
One more look at the last one. Tipped ball. Defended by Carter, number 5 that time. I got to believe Mississippi State is stunned. And when they watch the tapes, they're going to be more than stunned. They're going to be upset.
Third and 9.
You got to go forward, though. You can't look back.
Fitzgerald with the snap, has time to the end zone. Touchdown, Justin Johnson.
I think they're going to get a delay of game.
Prior to the snap, we had a delay of game on the offense.
That's 2 touchdowns.
5-yard penalty. Next third down.
And you have to blame the quarterback on this. Nick Fitzgerald's a 5th-year
Put
senior.
31 seconds onto the game clock. 31.
That 40-second clock is right in front of him. He knows where he is. He shifts his back. It could have been motioned by the running back as well. The play is called, and it's the right call. Joe Moorhead too late with the timeout, but that's the job of the quarterback. That's not a rookie quarterback. That's a 5th-year senior that you're depending on to not make that mistake.
Instead of in the end zone, they're back at the 16-yard line with a 3rd and 14.
Alabama has busted 2 coverages, and they've got away with both of them.
Here comes everybody. Fitzgerald not going to get away. The blitz came. Jared Maiden from the secondary, and it's 4th down.
Well, Mack Wilson timed it out perfectly, and Ness told you they brought everybody. No chance. Mack Wilson does not get a block from the tight end Johnson, and he blows up the running back at the same time.
Oh, boy. Those last 3 plays were a train wreck for Mississippi State.
Totally.
3rd and final timeout at half.
You know how hard it is to score a touchdown against Alabama?
30-second timeout.
Just ask LSU. They scored 2 and didn't get credit for either one.
Exactly. That's 4th down and 22. Coming up on the Geico halftime report, Adam, BJ, and Houston Nutt will get you caught up on a busy day in college football. It's all coming up in the Geico halftime report, which is just seconds away. We'll see what Joe Moorhead, he's fired up. And I don't blame him. They're going to go back and look at what should have been a touchdown and instead ended up with a penalty.
Timed it out. Well, see, the whole team was moving on the play except for the center. It looked like the center was delayed. It could have been illegal procedure. I'll tell you, the officials and replay are having a rough game.
Watch from pylon cam. Number 2 never touches.
Never touches them.
And then the dive to the end zone. That was called a block in the back and takes away a touchdown.
I know Mississippi State is struggling, but so is the officials.
Jace Christman is in to try a 41-yard field goal to get something on the board for the Bulldogs. And it's wide left. Can you have 4 worse plays in a row? I'm not sure.
No, you are sure.
Otherwise, I guess I wouldn't have said it, huh? Wow. Could have been, should have been, 21-7.
Could have been, should have been, and wasn't. They even missed a field goal.
That's the end of the first half. Score, Alabama 21, Mississippi State nothing. For Jamie's halftime interview with Coach Saban, go to Twitter at SEC on CBS. But right now, we go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio.
All right, Ness, maybe another shutout brewing here. Thank you. Coming up on the Geico halftime report, Houston, BJ, and I will show you how the Gators and Aggies pulled off come-from-behind victories earlier today after this word from your local station.
At the break, top-ranked Alabama at home leading 21-0 over the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. And now, a taste of tradition presented by Sonic. Here's Jamie.
Brad, your good friend Eli Gold is celebrating his 30th season as the voice of the Crimson Tide. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Eli's life trajectory has taken him from the streets of Kings County to the kings of college football. In fact, Eli grew up listening to Alabama alumnus and former radio voice of the Tide, Mel Allen, called New York Yankees games. Now, as an inductee in the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, Eli has made his own mark on this legendary program. Eli, all of us here at the SEC on CBS wish you congratulations on a remarkable career. Long may it continue.
My good friend, longtime friend, Eli Gold. He only wears one of those national championship rings. The other ones are in the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Doesn't want too much jewelry around. 21-0, halftime.
Throws near side, caught by Harris. Handoff, big hole. Damian Harris, touchdown, Alabama. Now they throw it to Josh. Left side, he's got it. He's open. He's Alabama.
And that was the story of the first half. All Alabama. Top-ranked tie going for their 24th straight win at home, and they're halfway there, 21-0. And Alabama took the ball at the beginning of the game, so it's going to be Mississippi State to get their hands on it to start the third quarter. Edric Thomas back deep. Bulovas to open the third quarter with a kickoff. And this one is going to go out of bounds, so they're going to get good field position at the 35-yard line to start things off and the third quarter. We welcome you back. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie's down on the field. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that last minute. No. Mississippi State had their chances and looked like they were going to get a touchdown, and still 0 on the scoreboard.
Scored 2 touchdowns and it came in with nothing. That's a tough locker room to go in there. When Jamie was talking to Joe Moorhead, you know, he's looking at her and thinking, I just had to go try to sell this second half to my team.
Right.
And he sold the fact that we moved the ball a little. Not now. They only had 85 yards total offense in the first half, so they got a long way to go. But that's deflating. You play that good of football and it doesn't work out. He's got to go pick the spirits up of his team. And now let's see if this offense can help him in this football game.
And frankly, I think Alabama just played average in the first half compared to what we've seen at times. Here's Fitzgerald and a pickup of about 3 as we check in with Jamie.
Well, we also wanted to clarify with Mississippi State head coach Joe Moorhead about that decision to not challenge the Alabama fumble early in the game. He said, we have guys in the booth too. They saw that his knee was down. After that play at the drive at the end of the game, he was happy about how they moved the ball, but disappointed with the points not put on the board. We heard he was the hottest he's ever been in the locker room, but when we got to him, he just seemed frustrated and wanted to get the second half started.
Well, with all due respect to Joe, I don't agree with him that wasn't a fumble.
The guys in the booth let him down. They were wrong. His assistants let him down.
And here's a drop ball. Edric Thomas, who dropped a punt earlier that led to an Alabama touchdown. Can't control that one. First half game trends. Tua was just, average, I thought. I mean, he didn't have to be much else.
Well, this is a pretty good defense he's going against. And Nick Fitzgerald is finding out that the 916 yards he put up the last 2 weeks isn't as easy against this Alabama defense. And there you see it. A proud defense giving up 21 points.
The most they've given up this year was in a loss to Kentucky, and that was 28. And Alabama's got 21 as we start the third quarter. 3rd down and 7. Blitz coming down the middle on the throw, and it's a good one. Complete out near midfield. And it's Farrod Green, the tight end, with a first down.
Yeah, Jared Maiden, the safety number 21, has him man-to-man because of the blitz from the outside. Xavier McKinney did not get there in time. And a good throw, a good first down. You wonder, watching Fitzgerald throw here, why he struggled so in the middle of the season, right? He looks fine as a thrower. Connected to that run game, he should be okay.
Last week he had 4 touchdown passes, and they were all right on the money. Here's Kylan Hill trying to get to the corner. Got about 5 on him before McKinney took him out of bounds and lost his helmet. And I don't know if he's going to have to come out for a play or not, because his helmet came off, I think, after he hit the sideline. And he will stay out one play.
So you got to do it one play at a time. I mean, you cannot, you can't look at the score 21-0. You have to say, let's score some points. Let's make a touchdown, and let's look up, see if our defense can get a stop and go from there.
Hill hit immediately when he got the handoff. And it's the Q-inator.
Oh my gosh. He almost could have taken the handoff. Now remember, he is going through a veteran offensive line here. Right around Jenkins. I mean, that's a highly thought of center. And he went around him like he was a high school football player right there. How about that quickness?
He's a different cat.
Yes, he is.
3rd down and 10. Fitzgerald has time. Fires in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, the other tight end, Justin Johnson, and Xavier McKinney, who took off one play because of the helmet situation, back out there to make that one.
You know, when you watch Quentin Williams make a play like that, you elevate him into Aaron Donald type stats.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, you got scouts looking at that and going, my goodness, if he's available, I got to have that. He can play for me. And a year ago, I watched tape of them against Mississippi State. He was the first rotated player in. He was good last year, too, by the way.
He just was playing behind some pretty good guys.
Yes.
And the ball goes out of bounds. On the punt, they're going to spot it around the 22-yard line.
I was feeling bad. Usually I interrupt you on good passes, but I'm interrupting you on nose tackles now.
It's a whole new world. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans brings you to today's scholar athlete. Stuart Reese, Mississippi State, wants to be a doctor, kinesiology major. And Alex Leatherwood, starting guard for Alabama. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans showing their commitment to the investment of our future by donating $1,000 to Mississippi State and Alabama's general scholarship funds. 12:40 remaining in the third quarter. Alabama's got it back after one first down by Mississippi State. There is Alex Leatherwood. Looks a little different without the glasses on.
Yeah, he's so impressive last year. Remember, he went into that national championship game and played left tackle as a true freshman in that championship game against Georgia. That's his smarts, being able to play two positions.
Tagovailoa scrambles and throws on the run. Got it to Waddle. Waddle with a couple of moves, trying to do his imitation of Jerry Jeudy. Does a pretty good job of it.
Well, they have flushed Tua a lot in this game, though. Mississippi State has. You know, these guys, this defense was rated very highly, great athletes, and they are showing you that this is a tussle. Tua's not standing back there in that nice pocket every time. He's got a few, but not every time.
Waddle got 9 on the reception, 2nd down and 1. And the quick throw on the slant is Jeudy. That one was right on the money in a hurry on short yardage. They go with the throw and a first down.
So easy. You just read the man over the slot. As you're putting the ball in the running back, you just see who's at the slot. If he's coming, throw it right behind him. Boy, I wish we had these plays when I was playing. This seems like fun to me.
Now back to the ground. Damian Harris got about 1.5 yards. Damian, a senior who could have gone to the NFL last year, a captain out of Richmond, Kentucky, and told us earlier this year, I came back and said I wanted to be a leader for this team and I wanted to win another national championship. Well, they're on their way to 10-0, and we know they're going to play Georgia in the SEC title game. The Citadel and the Iron Bowl are left on the schedule before that trip to Atlanta. Blitz coming. And Tua is going down. Great job off the corner by Willie Gay, the outside linebacker.
Yeah, Tua, when he gets wrapped around his knees like that, you have to start to worry. Anytime he gets tackled low, you look out there and say, is he okay? And he seems to be favored for me.
Yeah, he hasn't moved from the time he stood up.
Absolutely. Watch him go low. Watch him grab the leg. Turn it. Nothing dirty, obviously, trying to make the play. But when you exert like that, you tweak it just a bit.
Second time they've sacked him today. Now he stands in the gun at 3rd down and 19. The quick drop, the fire down the middle, and it's intercepted by the same guy.
Wow.
Willie Gay, back-to-back big plays for the Bulldogs.
You know, interestingly, when he stepped into that throw, it was low. He did not have his usual trajectory. You know, that's his plant foot when he throws, and that did not come out. Gay's inside, fakes the blitz, drops. He saw him all the way, but threw it too low. Maybe 4 feet low on that throw. And I wonder, as he snaps into that right knee right there, if he just felt a little bit of a tweak.
Waddle was going to be the intended receiver, as you saw him crossing there, but the interception, only the 2nd of the year, thrown by Tagovailoa, gives Mississippi State some life. Harris Williams in the backfield with Fitzgerald at the 40. He'll get the carry. Straight up the gut for about 4.
That was a Great sequence for the Bulldog defense that time. A sack from the edge. Then they fake the blitz and drop into the passing lane and get one. Great sequence for this Mississippi State defense.
Only 2 interceptions this year, thrown by Tua, and we've seen them both last week and this week. 2nd down and 6. Fitzgerald, extra man coming, and it's going to pay off for the Tide. Down he goes. Dylan Moses. Mac Wilson, everybody was coming, it seemed like, from the linebacking core.
It's almost you can count on it. If you have any success against Alabama, they're going to dial up the blitz. Mac Wilson comes first. He flushes it, and then Moses cleans it up.
And a loss of 12. Third and 18. Mississippi State trying not to blow another opportunity following a turnover. Fitzgerald. Late throw to the sideline to the tight end. He's not going to be anywhere near a first down.
Yeah, but is he close enough to go for it? They did pick up enough yardage now. Down 21-0. You got to think about going on 4th down.
Looks like you're right. Fitzgerald stays out there.
And if I was Mississippi State, I'd make sure I know who to block on the blitz here. Or who my hot receiver is. Because I pretty much think they're coming.
And somebody get 92 while you're at it.
Yes. There's a lot of complications here, isn't there?
There is. 4th down and 7. They are 4 for 12 on 4th down conversions this year.
Here comes Carter. Oh, man.
Did Island, the left tackle, jump?
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 55. 5-yard penalty.
That's a call.
Remain 4th down.
Now you have to kick.
Yep. Another self-inflicted wound by Mississippi State. I mean, you know, I get it. The officials never want to be the story. Okay, I get that. But Mississippi State's been making their mistakes too.
Sure they have. They can blame whoever they want, but they have to point at themselves
Absolutely.
first.
Two. T-O-O. Yes.
Waddle, fair catch around the 14-yard line. Alabama will have it back midway through the 3rd quarter. Frustrating day for Nick Fitzgerald. Alabama leads 21-0. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Verizon, USAA, Jared, and by Sonic. SOCOM Para Commandos here today on Veterans Weekend. We salute you all, wherever you might be. Thanks for keeping us all safe. They bring in the flag and the ball and before the national anthem.
So we saw a little pass rush. Got two off his game a little bit. We always talk about the great quarterbacks. How do you stop them? They all are stopped about the same way. Put a pass rush on them.
So the ground game is Jacobs for 2. And we got an update, Ford update with Adam Zucker on New York studios.
All right, Ness, 5-4 Northwestern could clinch the Big Ten West today, and this is Isaiah Bowser going right through the Iowa defense to put the Cats on top. A Northwestern win and a Purdue loss would give them the West. Boilers are trailing Minnesota 27-3, guys.
Wow. Big action in the Big Ten. Here in the SEC West, Tua Tagovailoa throws wide side, completes it to Devontae Smith, and he's got first down.
Yeah, and that defense, and again, a zone blitz by Mississippi State. They forced the ball where they wanted. They wanted the longest throw to the wide side of the field, and Tua put it right on the target for a first down. I think you're going to continue to see pressure from Bob Shoop's defense. It's been successful, and that allows Montez Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons inside to get one-on-one blocking and make an impact as well.
You look at those numbers for Tua, and you think, well, for a college quarterback, that's pretty good. That's so pedestrian for him. It's unbelievable. But we still have a lot of football left. Jacobs got tagged pretty hard after you picked up about 3.
Does feel like the Mississippi State defense has got the feel of the game.
Yeah.
They feel like they're in it now. They're not getting gashed for big runs. The passes are happening in front of them. It looks like a normal defensive stand for Mississippi State. They were shocked early. Just did for the tempo and Tua the way he came out running and throwing the ball.
2nd down and 7. Irv Smith, the slot man on the right. Tagovailoa wants to throw it across the middle and into some traffic intended for Judy, and it was Willie Gay again that was right in the way.
Yeah, it was one of those tunnel screens. They hit one earlier in the game. Texas A&M was very successful against Mississippi State running these screens. You see the linemen let everybody go, but this time a little pressure from the backside. And you're right. You know, the guy we're calling the most is Willie Gay here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, he's having a good football game.
3 out of 6 on 3rd down conversions after coming in 56% on the year to lead the nation. Yeah, here's another one, 3rd down and 7. Judy in motion in tight on the right-hand side as Tagovailoa throws back the other way to Smith. And Irv trying to stretch it out. Boy, got it within a yard.
And a great job that time by C.J. Morgan, following him from behind and wrapping him up, not diving and clipping his legs or anything. Morgan, watch his arms coming around. He knows it's close for a 1st down. Got him man-to-man. Now make the tackle, wrap him up, and pull him backwards. Good defense.
And forces a punt. Dedrick Thomas is just thinking, I got to hold on to this one. He was called for the penalty that was a phantom penalty that took away a touchdown. He dropped a punt earlier. He's getting everybody out of the way here. It's nothing but crimson jerseys around as he backpedals, and it'll roll dead around the 33-yard line. 5:34 remaining. Alabama trying to stretch their winning streak like Irv Smith's reach to 24 at home.
Adam Zucker, New York. We gave you the picture in the Big Ten West. How about the ACC Coastal? Darren Hall, 229 yards last week. He has 186 on 7 carries against Virginia Tech. It's 38-15 Panthers, and they'll go a full game up in the Coastal with a win here. Brad, Gary, Jamie.
Boy, Coach Narduzzi doing a good job with that Pitt team. 21-0 here. 5.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Mississippi State with the ball back now. If their offense can get something going, every time it seems like they get in Alabama territory, they either self-destruct or Alabama comes up with a sack. 1st down at the 33. Gibbs to Kylan Hill. Defensive line of Alabama has been something else.
Yeah, this thing has been rebuilt this last couple of years. More athletic, more movement, not as much two-gap. By the way, the old style was pretty good, too.
Yeah, it was.
But now they're making more plays in the backfield. More aggressive, athletic guys up there are producing the type of negative plays that this Alabama defense really makes you pay with.
2nd and 5, a couple more. Like Kylan Hill, Buggs, and Davis in on the stop, and it's 3rd and 3.
I mean, against now this is stretching as you look at Greg Kuligowski, the new defensive line coach hired away from the Miami Hurricanes, used to coach at Missouri. Another connection though to Nick Saban, and we'll show you here in a minute or so. Hired, and he's one of those pass rush gurus.
Right.
And he has turned this defensive line into a pass rush specialist group.
His defensive linemen just call him Coach Cool. 3rd and 3. Fitzgerald rolling. Will he tuck it? He will. Slides for the 1st down. Well, wait a minute. Maybe he didn't get the 1st down.
Yeah, I'm surprised you slide there, don't you? If you're Nick Fitzgerald, I mean, the biggest comparison as you watch Shaheem Carter do his job. He's going to rush the quarterback, but his man is the running back. You know, the comparison that Nick made for Nick Fitzgerald was Tim Tebow.
Right.
I can guarantee you Tim Tebow would not slide there. I don't. He seems to be, I don't know, pressing. I don't know what any other word for Nick to say about Nick. That is a big play to be sliding on 3rd and short.
I almost thought he had it anyway, but
It's
I'm not the linesman.
Yeah,
so
it's where you begin your slide, though, when you slide. So, you know, you have to, I guess the point. But if he dives, he makes it.
Nick couldn't see that yellow line. Let's take a look at our GMC game changer. Here.
You got a lot of 5-star players, but they're coachable. Watch Damian Harris do his assignment. Not just run, but pick up your blitz. It allows the play. Patrick Surtain on the punt, his job is to go to the goal line, turn around, find the ball. Exactly what he does. And Tua, if it's not open deep, don't force it. Drop it off. He follows the coaching directions, and they all work. If you got good players, which Alabama does, and you listen to the coach, it's good results.
And they've had it for twice as long as Mississippi State. 17 more plays. You see the yardage difference, and they've got it back at the 29. Henches, the tight end, in motion. The give is to Damian Harris for about a yard.
Yeah, this defensive line is doing a good job here. The run blitzes, coming off the edge, has really bottled up this running attack for Alabama.
They've only allowed 4 passing touchdowns coming into this game. Gave up the 5th one on that replay Gary just showed you. Josh Jacobs on that little flare out of the backfield from Tua. 2nd down and 9. All 3 wideouts to the top of the screen. Tagovailoa loads, reloads, and goes down. I think his arm was going forward, but at any rate, it's picked up by Devontae Smith. And we'll wait and see whether or not that was considered a fumble, a forward pass. It was a one-hopper to Devontae Smith either way.
You know, I think the officials are called to err in the area of a fumble and not call it an incomplete pass, because if it's a fumble, they don't want to change it as a dead ball. So let's see if they were right here. Was it thrown? It looked like he tossed it on the play.
I think he was trying to throw it.
Yes, so they'll
Ruling
come
on
back.
the field was a fumble. The previous play is under review.
Yes, I think his arm was going forward, even though the defender was hitting it at the same time. So, so the officials, again, you want to err on the side of calling it a fumble. You can always correct it into an incomplete pass. It's much harder to do the other way.
Gary Green was the guy that was hitting Tua while he was trying to throw it.
Boy, he's taken some hits in this game.
He has.
Really think he's taken a long time to throw the ball, especially with this pass rush. So now think about this. Usually on this play, the Mississippi State would love to have this called a fumble, but in this case, since Alabama recovered it, they want an incomplete pass.
And they recovered about 10 yards downfield, so it'd be a first down. It looks like he's trying to throw through the arm of Green.
Yes.
But we'll wait and see. David Allman is our replay official. Tua's going to know he was in a football game tomorrow.
Yes, he is.
I'll tell you that.
Now remember, they got Citadel and then a bye, so he's going to have some time to get some rest and maybe allow. Right now, Tua's going, you know, this might be one of the games I'd like to not play the fourth quarter.
He played in the fourth quarter for the first time last week in the win over LSU down in Death Valley.
That's Dan Enos on the camera left, to his left right there, quarterback coach. Tua's eyes lit up when we talked about Dan yesterday, didn't we?
Yep.
Said he can really coach the position.
Here's a call.
After further review, it was ruled an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 9 at the 30-yard line. Please put 2:54 onto the game clock.
So 3rd down coming up.
And right now, this Bulldog defense is saying, well, it's all right. We'll rush again.
Sure.
We've got a path now, and we feel good about it.
Simmons and Green and Hoyette and Sweat and company.
And from the edge, you know, Willie Gay's made plays.
Look at that knee brace. Tua Tagovailoa's right knee. He's telling Damian Harris, if this guy comes, would you please hit him?
Yes.
And here they come. And Damian didn't hit him enough.
Wow.
What a great rush again. Jonathan Abram from the secondary, Dantzler from the secondary, and Tua is slow to get up again.
Well, the two safeties for this Mississippi State team are veterans, two seniors, McLaren and Abram, the number 1 and number 3 tacklers on the team, and they have played a ton of football. They're good pass rushers, and this time he pulls away the blocker and gets to it. So think about that. If he was going to get blocked, he was pulling Damian Harris away for the next guy to get the quarterback. That's a veteran play.
And he took a shot right on the knee, Gary.
Yes, he did.
And thus the hobble to the sideline.
And was it Sweat that did it too? Was it number 9? I couldn't see the last hit of the play.
I think it was Dantzler's helmet that was the last one. With 2:05 remaining, and they're still. He's got the knee brace unstrapped right now, and you see trying to walk that last hit off.
You know what's interesting is every time you ask about it, they go, "Oh, it's better. It's better. It's getting better every week. It's better." And then when you get out in the game, one hit, and it's not better.
It is not better.
He said, you know, I'm going to stop doing all those celebrations. And he's going, boy, this pass rush thing isn't any fun either.
No, it's not. He's going in the tent right now. The 2-minute mark of the third quarter. Nick Fitzgerald, can they get something going on offense? Fitzgerald, plenty of time, just lofts one, and he got his man. Dedrick Thomas, he put some air under it because Thomas was so open he didn't want to miss it.
Well, this Alabama defense almost going into the fourth quarter, and now going more than 8 quarters without a touchdown, more than 130 minutes without a score for this Alabama defense.
So Fitzgerald just sort of shot-putted that one out there for 20 yards.
All the way into the second corner of the Tennessee game.
And now another miscommunication, or he wasn't ready for the snap, and so they pick up 20 and then they lose 5.
You know what's crazy? It doesn't feel that loud. I mean, the crowd really isn't into it. You know, it's not near like the LSU noise of a week ago. And to making these mistakes, again, a veteran center snapping the ball when the quarterback is not ready for it.
Not even looking.
No.
That's cost him dearly. Lost another 3.5 out of that one. Fitzgerald on play action, throws complete out to the tight end, who's been his favorite target today, Justin Johnson. That's still going to bring up 3rd down and about 7. Monday, an all-new late show with Stephen Colbert. Stephen welcomes Hugh Jackman, and later this week, don't miss Ben Stiller, Ricky Gervais, and CBS This Morning's Diana Goladriga. All coming up, new Colbert on CBS.
And I think calling plays here, unless they lose yardage, they're going 4 downs for this first down.
As they're running out of time, we're almost to the end of 3. The give is to Williams. He got 1. It's 4th and 6. Anthony Jennings, first guy there, and then got help from his friends.
Yeah, I think you can let it go to the fourth quarter and decide what you're going to do here. Run that big Roquan Davis, and this time they did not block him.
Swarmed under as the third quarter is going to come to a close. The Bulldogs will have time to think about what they're going to do on 4th and 6. Alabama will be thinking about 15 minutes away from their 10th win of the year. End of 3, 21-0. That was the scene a couple of minutes ago. Tua Tagovailoa coming out of the medical tent on the Alabama sideline. Meanwhile, 4th down and 6, Mississippi State to open the fourth quarter.
Alabama has 6 defensive backs on the field. Let's see if they come at him again. They do.
They will. Fitzgerald has time. Batted down as he tried to go over the middle. And Alabama takes over on downs.
You could almost read it beforehand. With all those defensive backs in, they were going to play man coverage and go after the quarterback. That was the game plan. It worked for him prior. And this time, Xavier McKinney gets in there right in the face and knocks it down.
So that takes away another threat, if there ever was a threat, from the offense of Mississippi State. Gives the ball back to Mac Jones at quarterback. So whether it's to his knee or just as a precautionary measure, backup quarterback is in for Alabama, so they'll keep it on the ground. Josh Jacobs butts heads with the first would-be tackler. Got about 2 yards into the fourth quarter, and Tua is on the bicycle, so we hope he's okay. But here he is. You know, we talked about 3 hours ago, I guess, about the defense of Alabama, and they're pitching a shutout again.
They are, and let's also talk about Mississippi State. As good as Alabama's played, that third quarter for the Bulldogs, that's the first quarter that Tua's played the whole quarter that they didn't score a touchdown. Shut them out. And they only had 24 yards total offense. That's a good job by the Mississippi State defense to try to stay in the game.
Incomplete pass intended for Waddle is going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 for Alabama.
But as you mentioned, every time Mississippi State gets a couple first downs, it seems to spur this defense for Alabama on and just get a stop.
You mentioned 8 quarters without giving up points. And you can see, maybe you can't, but we can up here. Tua is wincing even on that stationary bike, moving that knee. So he might be done for the day. We'll wait and see. Meanwhile, redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville, Mac Jones, retreating, trying to throw a middle screen and actually lost yardage on it. Nice job by the Bulldog defense again.
Well, I would think unless there is a run by Mississippi State on offense, they're going to play it safe. Because he has taken some hits in this football game. And that's why, as Bryant told you, he was wincing.
And if you haven't watched a lot of Alabama football, you probably haven't been watching us either, but you're wondering where Jalen Hurts is.
Yeah.
And he's got a bad ankle. So only in an emergency, Nick Saban said, not only last week, but this week, would Jalen, who was the starter for 2 seasons, be in there for Alabama. And that's why Mac Jones is out there. The kick goes down. Fair catch taken by Thomas around the 25. There's Jalen on the sideline. No helmet on. Probably not going to play either. Still 21-0. Time now for our ExxonMobil game recap. Number 16 Mississippi State and top-ranked Alabama tied. Took it right down to first quarter touchdowns of a yard out. Damian Harris got one. And then a muck punt, a fumble. First fumble of the year by Mississippi State. Couldn't have come at a worse time. And then Tua Tagovailoa out in the flat to Josh Jacobs, his first receiving touchdown of the year for number 8. And the 28th touchdown pass of the year for Tua. But he's been roughed up today, and he's been intercepted for the 2nd straight week. But great defense by Alabama, led by number 92, Quinnen Williams. Nobody scored on him now in 8 quarters. Mississippi State still trying to, but they go backwards on too many plays today. And that's where we are at 21-0 with Moon over Tuscaloosa.
And as Mississippi State comes back out here on offense, again, think with Tua being injured, how big that non-touchdown was at the end of the half.
No doubt.
Tua hurt. What if this is a 14-point game and they got the ball here? How different this would feel right now.
As Elton Jenkins gets over the ball at the 25-yard line, Fitzgerald in the gun, wanting to throw. No quarterback draw. Straight up the middle. Best run of the day by Nick Fitzgerald. It's a first down before Mac Wilson gets him, but a pickup of 11.
Well, there's no doubt that Elton Jenkins is feeling Quinnen Williams on him. Bad snaps, late snaps, early snaps, but at least he gets a good block on this one, and that's why the play worked. He has his hands full, and it's affecting his quarterback center snap in the shotgun.
There's no doubt about it. Alabama's defensive front shifting there on first down. The gives to Harris Williams. Williams, good gain over the 40. And let's get an update on Tua. Here's Jamie.
Yeah, here's a wrinkle in the decision-making whether or not to play him. He's actually injured right now. This is from the team because he took that last shot to the quad. It's on that side where the knee injury is. But what's hurting him right now is that quad muscle from that hit right there locked up. And this is the coldest this team has played in, so you have to imagine this one's uncomfortable.
Yeah, no doubt. Remember, it was in the 40s when we started. And it's probably still in the 40s, but in the low 40s, if that. Fitzgerald and the keeper and Raekwon Davis, the big fella.
And by the way, where he comes from, it never gets in the 40s.
No. Let's get an update in New York. Here's Adam Zucker.
All right, Ness, number 8 Washington State, 1 loss, trying to stay in the playoff hunt. It's Mississippi native Gardner Minshew. His original plan was to transfer to Alabama. Gets in for the touchdown, commanding lead on Colorado. He might be in this game for the Tide right now here in the 4th.
Everybody wearing mustaches out there in Washington State for their quarterback.
Think about that. He wanted to come here and be the backup until Leach said, I got a spot for you.
I got a spot. You can throw it 50 times a game.
Yeah.
3rd and 9. We expect a pass here from Nick Fitzgerald if he can get it off. He does on a crossing route. Thomas gets collared and brought down immediately by Jared Maiden.
Yeah, and Mac Wilson that time on a delayed blitz put one on the quarterback Nick Fitzgerald as well. Maiden, one of the highest rated cornerbacks coming out of high school out of the state of Texas, is now playing safety. But watch Mac Wilson come in and get a clean hit on the quarterback.
And they've got to go on 4th down again. Tried it last time on 4th and 6 and failed. Here's 4th and 4. Low snap again. Fitzgerald trying to deliver it to the tight end, and it's incomplete. Knocked out of there by Dylan Moses. Or at least he got a hand in the way of the tight end.
Tosh Lapoy, defensive coordinator for Alabama, seems to be 1 step ahead. That play was called thinking it was going to be a blitz. At that time, they go coverage and another drop.
Alabama gets it back on downs again with 11 to go. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Dr. Pepper, Napa, Chick-fil-A, and by New York Life. There's a lot of jewelry and hardware in the Melmore facility over here on campus, including that trophy from a year ago, the defending national champions, 17 titles. Don't forget, coming up before we're done, play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. Mac Jones at quarterback. Damian Harris with him in the backfield at the 42-yard line of Mississippi State. Play action. Jones loads, goes out to Waddle, and Waddle gets about 5 out of it.
Mac Jones gets an opportunity in RPO to throw one of his. Remember, without Jalen Hurts playing, Jalen Hurts played well in 2016 against Mississippi State. Maybe had his best game ever. He was 28 for 37 for 347 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he also rushed for 100 yards in that football game as well. So he was looking forward to playing against these guys.
You saw Jalen with a helmet on the sideline. But guys like this can chew up clock. Damian Harris, big run, and that'll work it under the 10-minute mark.
I think in this situation, if anything happened to Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts would come in and run the ship, you know, hand the ball off. He's their 3rd emergency quarterback. They have gotten another quarterback ready, but I think they'd go to Jalen.
He took snaps for the most part. He didn't Thursday when we were in practice. Nick Saban told him just take that off and rest that ankle.
Well, for Jalen, his game is his legs. He's got to get healthy.
And they want him healthy for the Iron Bowl and the SEC title game and whatever might come after that.
It is interesting now, you know, this Alabama offense that was running so well coming into this game has rushed in the game 36 times for under 100 yards. This is a great defensive performance. It started out looking like they were going to gash them, but they found their sea legs on defense, and it's been tough since.
Mississippi State came in number 3 in the conference, allowing only 111 a game on the ground. 2nd and 14, blitz off the corner right into Mac Jones' face, and that might have had a little bit of something to do with the incomplete pass intended for Judy.
Mac Jones, meet Jonathan Abram. He's been playing in this league for 4 years. He's in other quarterbacks, and welcome to the SEC. Comes off that slot. That is the RPO read. You saw Tua do it early when you're riding that running back, you're looking at that safety.
You better read fast.
Read it fast.
Especially when 38's coming in your face.
Speed reading you need to have.
They're down at 14. Look out from behind. It's Abram again. They drilled him as he tried to throw a middle screen to Damian Harris.
I'll tell you, this Mississippi State defense is well coached. You can see it. They get the blitz, and what happens? One guy gets free, and Cameron Dantzler covers the remaining back. No throw available.
Bob Shoop's defense has done a good job
yes,
today.
Yes, they have. One guy rushes, somebody has to replace that guy's person, and Dantzler does his rules, just like we showed you the intangibles for Alabama. You saw one, a good one, for Mississippi State.
Bulovas going to try a field goal. This will be fairly long for him. His longest so far this year is 47. This is from 49. Got it. That'll be a happy kicker. He doesn't get many chances from that far out. That's a career long for Joseph Bulovas.
I think the crowd is happier than the kicker. They know the kicking woes, and they were like ready to cheer for that kick. They are happy.
Tacks 3 more on to what is a shutout right now, than 24-0. Coming up next Saturday, Home Depot SEC on CBS brings you Missouri and Tennessee at Neyland Stadium. Day kicks off with college football today at 3 Eastern. Tennessee, we understand, is leading Kentucky right now.
I played in a lot of these games where you're battling for a bowl game.
Yeah.
That'll be a big game.
Last time back-to-back shutouts was 1980.
Wow.
And the kick return comes from the 7 for Thomas, and he doesn't make it to the 20. That was a Bear Bryant team in 1980 with those back-to-back shutouts that went 10-2 and actually finished in 2nd place in the conference. That's the year Georgia won the national championship. And Georgia will be Alabama's opponent. We already know that December 1st. That was decided last week by virtue of those 2 teams winning. It's the earliest that matchup has been made. And so we hope you join us for the SEC title game in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on the 1st Saturday of December. But still a lot of football left between now and then. Georgia has a date. Deep South's oldest rivalry tonight as they'll take on the Auburn Tigers between the hedges. 9:06 to go. Nick Fitzgerald. And incomplete, broken up by Mack Wilson, who's getting better and better every game, especially pass coverage.
Yeah, he saved the shutout last week, didn't he, at the end of it? This time man-to-man coverage, cuts underneath this one. I thought he was going to get it. He's extremely gifted with the football, very athletic. In fact, we haven't seen one of these in a while. When they throw the Hail Mary, they put Mack Wilson at the back line to knock the ball down.
As the last line of defense. He did have an acrobatic interception last week against LSU, 6 in his career. And he's getting better and more vocal as a leader, they say. This one completes. That's only the 2nd catch, and that's Mack Wilson again.
He could always do that.
Yeah, he liked hitting people. He said, I wish I was still in the kickoff team because I just like to rock
people. He started out doing that. Then he earned the spot, and now he's learning how to make all the calls, but he loves doing this.
Yeah. We talked about professional rodeo coming up later. There's a bulldog thing on a bulldog right there. Third down in the yard. And again, Fitzgerald all alone in the backfield. Has got a long way to run to try to get to the 30. Can he make it? I don't think so. 6-yard head start, but not enough to get the first down, but it is 4th and short.
That is amazing. You know, I thought that Nick Fitzgerald needed to rush for 100 yards to have a chance in this game. He's not even close.
You had the right idea, though. What's he got anyway?
Negative.
Never mind. Yeah, he didn't get close. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. So Waddle trots out there quickly.
Yeah. And I know, he's dying to run one back.
Or is he ever? He's got one this year for a touchdown, but he hasn't been able to because of the high booming kicks today, and this one goes out of bounds right about where he was standing. Well, I guess it went out of bounds quite a ways up the line. That's where they'll start, right there. Alabama pitching another shutout, looking for their 10th win of the season.
Adam Zucker in New York. It's bedlam after falling behind their in-state rivals. Number 6 Oklahoma gives it to Kennedy Brooks for his 3rd touchdown of the day. Sooners up 41-35 heading into the 4th as we go back to Tuscaloosa.
Bedlam's always fun. Adam, BJ, and Houston will get you caught up on a very busy day on the college football postgame show presented by Capital One, which is about 7.5 minutes of game time from now. If you're turning on Alabama, the Alabama game today, and expecting to see Tua Tagovailoa, we did see him for 3 quarters. It's Mac Jones right now, and it's not just because it's 24-0. It's because Tua, the knee and the quad on that last sack that he took has had him on the stationary bike for most of the last 20 minutes. He's sitting on the bench right now, but his day is done. And not huge numbers at all for him. As I said, those are pedestrian numbers for him. It's,
you know, Alabama's offense now has not had less than 500 yards total offense in any game this year.
Right.
They don't even have 300 in this game. That's how good of a job this Mississippi State defense has done. And again, they started out slow, and then they figured it out.
I'll give credit to Bob Shoop, the defensive coordinator, for the job they've done. He's got some talent to work with for sure, but just then they gave up a run to Josh Jacobs. It looks like it might net a first down. It will.
Of course, the game isn't over, but for the first game, you know, that's, you know, rushing attempts, that's 16 of them for Jacobs for 62 yards. Damian Harris has 10 for 44. For the most part, this is as good as you can do against this rushing attack for Alabama.
But it seems like every run they need is just enough to move the sticks. And now they go back to Jacobs the other way. And this one's going to be great. 9-yard run.
I remember I really loved him. He was in college.
He's still going. I'm sorry. It ended up being a 12-yard run. Didn't mean to interrupt your partner.
No problem. I thought he was down.
Yes, what
I remember a few years ago, I fell in love with Alvin Kamara running in games. I'm telling you, this is the guy I love. He is going to be a great one on the next level. He catches the ball, he blocks, returning kickoffs. Remember, Kamara returned punts and kickoffs.
That's right.
This is a special football player, Josh Jacobs.
Junior from Tulsa. Oklahoma apparently didn't recruit him enough. He's considered, for the most part, if you sometimes look at their depth chart, as their 3rd tailback. He's not. He's a first down. I mean, he's a top-of-the-line guy. It's just Damian Harris is a senior and a captain, so he starts a lot of the games. But this guy does a lot of the finishing touches, which is what he's doing right now with 5:20 to go in the game. There's the total yardage Gary was talking about. Over 500 in every game, which is a school record. And today they're adding to the total a little bit here in the 4th quarter, but it's been a stingy defense. 277 right now, but when you only give up 162, you don't need 600, you know.
Remember the player Kenyon Drake that played here at Alabama? Okay, he was similar to Josh Jacobs, you know, 2nd or 3rd team, a little bit of an injury, came in the game, always was behind somebody else.
Seemed like Yelton was like that too.
He was, but he played behind Eddie Lacy and T.J. Yelton and Derrick Henry. He's one of the most important players for Alabama. Nick Saban sells that to his players, that Kenyon Drake stuck around, did his job, played special teams, and ended up getting drafted in the 3rd round, and now he's playing full-time for the Miami Dolphins. That's what he tells you. You talk about all those #1 draft picks. Nick Saban sells Kenyon Drake as what you can do if you hang here and stay with the program.
3rd down at 2, and I would expect number 8's going to get it again. And there he goes, Josh Jacobs to the 10.
Talk about the All-American Jonah Williams, the left tackle, but right tackle. Watch this guy over here. Just destroys the defender on the play. Knocks him out of the way. Jedrick Wills, a true sophomore right tackle, will also be a #1 pick. Alex Leatherwood, the right guard, will end up moving out to left tackle next year. They'll have a pair of bookends.
Yep. Josh goes out after a 17-yard gain that almost got him to the century mark rushing, and now Damian Harris comes in for him on 1st and goal. At the 9. Harris straight up the middle. He'll take it to the 4. Braxton Hoyette probably saved a touchdown, but the clock winds its way under the 3-minute mark.
Cute little story. This last night I'm in the elevator, and Jimmy Sharp is in the elevator, the longtime ex-offensive line coach for Alabama under Bear Bryant. And Jimmy said, I've been watching these guys. These guys block the right way, just like we used to. So I said, am I on the right track? He goes, you're on the right track. These guys can block. Little Jimmy Sharp played here and coached here, almost a legend. And if he says they're good, they're good.
Damian Harris pulling his way down to the 2. And that'll take it down close to 2 by the next time they snap it.
You know, the only thing is you think forward here a little bit. The blitzing strategy used by Bob Shoop coming off and confusing a bit this offense. I wonder if that's what Auburn and Georgia are going to look at and say, that's our game plan. There's Bobby with the readers on right there, second one. By the way, for Mississippi State, this is their 5th defensive coordinator in the last 5 years.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
3rd down and goal at the 2. Damian Harris not going to get there.
Great effort. Great effort. You want to finish a football game. You know you're not going to win, but you finish it with pride. Got a lot of respect for these guys.
I do too.
This defense knows throughout the whole second half their offense most likely were not going to score any points. So they came out here to just prove how good they were, and they've shown it in the second half.
See, they're trying to rip the ball out, but Harris was down. And now Alabama is going to go for it on 4th and goal. They bring in an extra lineman. You know, style points this time of year always look good.
That's interesting. That is interesting. People will kind of forget what type of game it was or what happened. They'll just look at the final score.
Damian Harris behind Jones. They're at the 2. There's a pitch and a whistle before the pitch.
Mississippi State called timeout. They had their 11th player coming on late.
Right snap, timeout, Mississippi State. First time out of the half.
We'll take a quick break as well with 1:16 to go. Our Chick-fil-A pylon cam before the game. That guy's been offered a scholarship in 2035.
Good look at H-back right there.
Yeah,
He's projected to be.
He went to a special camp just for, there you go.
Yep.
Meanwhile, on the field, it's 4th and goal.
A lot of pride on this last play. Let's see what happens.
Damian Harris scored the first touchdown of the day, and he's not going to get the second. And as you said, prideful defensive group stops him short. And Mississippi State takes over on downs. Jeffrey Simmons, the guy we started the game with, made the tackle.
You know, you talk about style points for Alabama, and of course that's true. But there's also style points for Mississippi State, and Joe Moorhead tried to build this program. They'd like to win, yes, but they want to play a good game. Now, they've been a lot of self-destruction out there, but as they continue to show they're moving forward, that's the hope for this program, and why Moorhead in that last stand, take the timeout, they were so excited there. Yeah, win the game they're not, but they wanted to finish the right way.
Exactly. They've been in this situation earlier after a punt that Surtain downed at the 1-yard line. And they got a good run of about 6 yards to give themselves a little room to work. See if they can do it again. Fitzgerald in the end zone. He's going to throw. And he's going to go deep on the sideline. Incomplete. Intended for Osiris Mitchell. Savion Smith was there covering.
Savion Smith actually does not handle that 50-50 ball very well, and it's one of the parts of the game. As you go forward, a team that does it very well is Georgia. Those back shoulder and 50-50 balls,
right.
And Smith and Sertan will have to get better at it because they will get challenged.
And this one's going nowhere, and wrapped up Johnny Dwight, who's had a good game in his defensive end spot. He's not even the starter. 300-pounder. Fights off the blocker. Rips him down to the end zone. They wanted a safety.
So we'll be back here for the Iron Bowl, and that Auburn defense also is talented up front. And we'll see if they throw at Nick Saban a little bit of this game plan that Mississippi State has shown.
This is a 72nd game that Nick Saban has coached as the #1 team in the country, more than any other coach at one school in history. And it looks like it's going to be back-to-back shutouts unless something amazing happens in the last 10 seconds here. And the last run of the game by Aris Williams. And tying a school record from the 71 to 74 seasons. This is 24 straight wins in a row at home. And they win it, ironically, 24-0. The Tide, a perfect 10 again. And this is 11 straight years with 10 wins or more in a single season. And of course, the season is far from over for the #1 team in the country. Jamie's with the winning coach.
Coach, we started this day saying Mississippi State was ranked 16th for a reason, but you hold them scoreless the second time in 2 weeks. Why was your defense playing shutdown defense today? How did it look?
Well, the defense did a great job today. You know, we had a lot of respect for their offense and what they do, their quarterback, the players that they had, and, you know, to stop the run like we did. We had one explosive play against us. Fantastic job by the defense. Great crowd today. I think they had an effect on their offense. Got a couple penalties that put them behind the sticks, which really helps.
To hold you guys to just 3 points in the second half, how was your offense challenged?
Well, you know, we didn't have much rhythm today on offense. You know, they got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Tua got beat up a little bit. We had some adversity. And, you know, it's the first time we've had any adversity on offense all year long. And, you know, you got to learn how to respond to it. And this will be a good sort of learning lesson for us.
Were you told an update on Tua at all?
Am I what?
Were you told an update on Tua at all?
No, he just got beat up a little bit. I think he's fine.
All right, thanks, Scott.
All right, thank you.
As only Nick can say it. That's true, though.
Yep.
Everything he said is exactly right.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's time for the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. And a lot of big defensive plays today on an attempted flea flicker. And they just kept coming at Nick Fitzgerald. He never really had much of a chance today. And here's how Eli Gold called it for the Crimson Tide Radio Network.
Fitzgerald brings the running back up to the left of his shoulder, hands it off, gets it back on a flea flicker, but he looks and everybody's covered and down he goes. Bama's Raekwon Davis with help from Christian Miller taking down the quarterback for the 3rd sack of the ball game.
And that's how it sounded, and that's how it looked. And for the 2nd straight week, we do an Alabama game, and there's a goose egg on the other side. Final score, 24-0. We'll be back on the other side to wrap it up in a minute. Alabama still only trailed by 70 seconds all year long. If you look at underneath their logo where it says 10-0, and you say it seems like that's always the case, that's because for the 11th straight year, that's the case. 10 wins again, and a lot more football to come for the SEC West champions. They win it in a shutout today, 24-0. For Gary Danielson and Jamie Erdahl, Brad Nessler saying so long from Tuscaloosa. You've been watching the Home Depot SEC on CBS. We'll get you back to Adam Zucker and company for the college football postgame show presented by Capital One right after these messages.